Gamers, I know I have a tendency to overact a little, especially when it comes to my video titles, but I mean it this time when I say Metal Gear Solid 2 is the hardest game I have ever platinum.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
ではないかということで、飛び込んだのがこの業界。
Get snake!
映画、小説、音楽が好きなんですけども、24時間生活してますんで、同じ風景を見ても反対向いて見るのと、天気の時と雨降ってる時と曇りの時と。
Hi! Oh, man. Oh.
あらゆるものをインプットしてます。なので、自然とアウトプットが出てくるというか、
Yeah.
While MGS1 had a pretty simple platinum experience with only 19 trophies, MGS2 is anything but.
God fucking damn it.
With a grand total of 52 trophies this time, including the platinum, some of these are interesting, to say the least.
Alright, Snake, start jorking it.
There are, of course, the obvious one, like a trophy for defeating each boss and completing the game, as well as a few other, like, story-related trophies, you know, whatnot. There are a few post-game trophies as well, like casting theatre for watching something in the casting theatre, tell me a tale for completing one snake tail.
Oh my god, that was fucked up.
Another one of these is no boss of mine for completing the boss rush mode. I'll also have to complete the game without killing anyone or entering alert mode, which sounds awful, and it is, but these both tie into another trophy I'll get to in a minute. And much like the first game, I'll also have to read the script for MGS2 as well. It's way longer this time, I ain't fucking doing it, it's like 800 pages, get fucked. The vast majority of trophies can be unlocked by performing certain gameplay feats, such as putting an enemy in a locker, or destroying 5 cameras, or holding up 30 enemies. The most notable of these being the trophy Snake Beater, which is unlocked by cranking your hog. There are loads of these kinds of trophies, too many to go through here, so I'll save them for when they become relevant later on. Metal Gear Solid 2 does have a couple of collectible trophies as well, like Moving Day for finding all 8 cardboard boxes, and Photo Finish, which are both pretty simple since I can just use a guide. There are also 2 trophies for finding each weapon during the tanker and plant chapters of the game, but this is where we get into the troublesome stuff. I'll have to find and collect all 361 dog tags. Doing this will unlock infinite ammo and invisibility for both Snake and Raiden. While it may not be 900 Korok seeds, 361 collectibles of any kind still blows. Especially because I'll have to play through the game multiple times to unlock every single dog tag. Then once again, there are the VR missions.
Fuck off, I wasn't even in range of that. I fucking hate this game. It sucks. It's the worst game I've ever played. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good game, actually.
This was the worst part of the first game's platinum. Really the only troublesome part, and based off what I've heard, MGS2's VR missions are way worse this time around. The first game had 300, which took me a week just to complete all of them. MGS2 has 511 VR missions. Well, then it's a good thing I don't have to complete all 511 of them this time, because with the release of the Master Collection, they removed the virtually impossible trophy. Now all I have to do is complete one VR mission and get first place in 50 different VR missions, which really doesn't seem that bad. I don't know. Stick around, find out.
I gotta sneeze real bad. And it's not coming out, and my eyes are hurting. What? I didn't expect that.
Although they may have removed Virtually Impossible, they have since added another trophy. The Big Boss trophy is unlocked by completing the game with a Big Boss ranking, which basically means I have to complete the game on the hardest difficulty flawlessly. And while this trophy wasn't too tough in MGS1 due to the fact that you could play on the Japanese version, which made the game way easier, and you also had the ability to save the game over 80 times, which pretty much eliminated all tension during that run, Metal Gear Solid 2 only allows for 8 saves across the entire campaign. Big Boss also includes the usual suspects like no alerts, no kills, and a bunch of other stuff I'll get into later. Anyway, that's about all the meaningful stuff. I'll of course go more in depth later on, but for now, that's everything.
Who can?
After the events of the first game, instead of re-retiring to a cabin and spending the rest of his days JOing onto the floor, Snake instead decided to put his tactical espionage action skills to good use. The year is 2007, he's in New York City, Halo 3 just came out, and a recession is well on its way. Snake is here to find evidence of a new type of Metal Gear hidden somewhere inside this ship. I'm just going to tell you what it is now. It's called Metal Gear Ray. It looks like this. You have to fight like 100 of them later on. It's the worst boss fight in the game. Anyway, after Snake infiltrates the ship, a familiar revolver-wielding, mustache-twirling antagonist from the first game reappears, along with a unit of Russian soldiers. They kill most of the Marines on board and then seize control of the ship.
Holy fuck. Holy shit, he killed that guy.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Immediately upon starting the game, there were 5 trophies I could get quite easily.
I'm a bloody super spot.
12 seconds later.
Alright, this is a bad start. I've knocked out one guy, I've killed another. Oh, this is a bad start. This is a bad start.
First was animal control for obtaining a dog tag. This was on accident.
I didn't mean to do that. I knocked him out. Sonny Sue, what's that? Animal control? Oh, that's yep.
The second was kissing booth. First, I had to find a hiding place with a poster on the inside of the door. Then, when I was inside, I entered first person and...
Ooh, look at that.
Then, of course, the next trophy I went for was Snake Beater. Once again, I had to go into first person and look at the woman on the poster. Once Snake's head started bopping up and down, I called Otacon on the codec, where Snake made the worst face I have ever seen.
Oh.
No more. Come on, no more.
While I was still in this area of the ship, I also got the Down in Smoke trophy for stunning an enemy with a fire extinguisher.
Take that, you idiot! Down in smoke!
And then I knocked him out and stuffed his body into a locker to obtain Hurt Locker.
Bye-bye, sweet tight, baby boy. Goo Gaga, Hurt Locker, look at that, great movie. Great movie.
I continued making my way through the ship, proving that I am indeed the worst spy.
Oh! I didn't know I could do that.
Eventually, I made it to the first boss of the game, Olga Gerlukovich.
Oh, she is hairy. Holy shit.
Olga's pretty simple. All I had to do is hide behind cover and shoot her a bunch. That's like most games. But Olga does have a few tricks stashed away in her hairy armpits. One of these being grenades. She really likes throwing them, and it pisses me off.
Oh!
There's actually a really easy way to defeat her where you just have to sit in a certain spot and shoot her in the leg. But I'll come back to that later because keep in mind, I have to play through this game like 10 times, right? It's a lot. For now though, lights out.
Yeah, look at that. Couldn't even see her. Lights out, bozo.
Right after defeating Olga, I found the first cardboard box, the wet box. This is needed for the
Moving day.
trophy. There are 8 boxes in total, 2 for Snake and 6 for Raiden. And just below deck in the crew's quarters, the second and final box for Snake can be located in the food pantry. I also got Hold Up a Holic for holding up 30 enemies.
Hold up a holoc. Oh, hey, look at that.
Quickly followed by Silence is Golden. Now I was in the bowels of the ship, the engine room. This is where I attempted to get the Steel Grip trophy. This is unlocked by leveling Snake or Raiden's grip strength up to level 3. There are 2 different ways to go about this. The first is by popping in your Marky Mark workout tape and doing 200 pull-ups. Don't do this, it takes forever, it's fucking boring. Alternatively, you can go the much more dangerous yet much faster route, which is where the engine room comes in. Hang off this ledge and drop down. Then while falling, press the action button to grab onto the ledge below. Do this 20 times and you'll unlock the trophy. Now I must stress, do not fall, because below Snake is a bottomless black abyss that will swallow you whole. Another trophy I got inside the engine room was Weapon Completionist Tanker. I thought it might be harder, but I found every weapon just by checking like most rooms. Caution Hot was the next trophy I unlocked. This is kind of similar to Up in Smoke, except this time you have to knock an enemy out using the steam from one of these pipes.
I got caution hot. Fuck you, I'm out.
But after a forced combat encounter where you get to partake in some of Metal Gear Solid 2's beloved combat, I am of course being sarcastic, it's terrible and it sucks. I found myself in the hold. The hold consists of 3 back-to-back rooms absolutely jam-packed with Marines.
But it has also evolved into an event.
If Snake is spotted at any point during this part, it is an instant game over.
What? That is fucking bullshit, dude. I made one tippy tap. Fuck you.
In the hold were another 2 trophies. Upon entering hold number 1, look down into the crowd of Marines where you will see something interesting.
There it is.
To unlock the sexting trophy, I had to take a photo of this pantless soldier.
Fantastic.
You'll know if you got it right because Snake will say this.
That's not. Yeah, good, it is good.
However, that's not all, because in hold number 2, I also had to take a photo of this screen. It's really finicky and it took me far longer than I would have liked, but once I got it, it revealed... Oh, that sneaky little fuck. Once I had successfully snuck through to hold number 3, I uploaded the photo of the Marine to the computer where Otacon had some fun things to say.
This rules, but we can't use it. Get the shots we need.
There it is, sexting. Oh my god, that was so unnecessarily annoying.
In the third and final hold, I had to take 4 photos of Ray from 4 different angles. 1 from the front, and another 2 from the front left and front right, and then finally 1 photo of the Marines logo on its leg. Once I had taken these photos, I turned them into Otacon, and that's it. That's Snake.
Play just like a damn fiddle!
You don't play as him ever again. The tanker is like 30 minutes long. It's really short. Ocelot hijacks the Ray, kills a bunch of people.
Snake's just like sitting behind the crate right now, just watching all this unfold.
He's got a new hand now that makes him speak in ancient tongues, more commonly known as British.
Just crackers about cheese.
And as he escapes, he destroys the tanker in the process, leaving Snake's fate ambiguous. Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he gonna come back as another character in disguise? Who knows? The possibilities are endless. So anyway, Snake is dead. Where do you go from here? You jump 2 years into the future, of course. The year is 2009, we're still in New York City, your grandma just lost her house. ODST is about to come out, and we've only got 1 more good Halo game before the franchise falls into irrelevancy. After that whole kerfuffle, the tanker spilled a bunch of oil into the ocean, which isn't great for the environment. So in the aftermath, an offshore cleanup plant known as the Big Shell was constructed to clean up the mess. A group known as Dead Cell have taken over the Big Shell and taken hostages, one of them being the president himself. And, to add insult to injury, they also want to blow up a nuke. Now, as Raiden, you must infiltrate the Big Shell, rescue the president, and eliminate Foxhound. Well, you must eliminate the leader of Dead Cell, a man by the name of Solid Snake. What? This is the exact same premise as the first game. This is the same game. But this is Metal Gear Solid, so obviously there's a bunch of other shit going on at the Big Shell, both figuratively and literally. Almost as soon as I was given control of Raiden, I immediately went for the My Rations trophy. To get this, I had to find some rations and lie prone on a swarm of bugs, which there's like a bajillion of in the first room.
I buried those cockroaches!
And after a couple seconds, they started eating my gosh dang rations.
Oh, my rations! They've eaten my rations. I gotta bloody get them off, man.
This is just a small detail I think is pretty cool, but if you want to get rid of the bugs, you have to actually like go into the inventory and shake them off by going through it really fast. I think that's very cool.
Ah, there you go. That's how you get them off. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. I like that.
Aside from those dirty little critters eating my barbecue Arnold shapes, everything was pretty chill for a while.
Oh, and you can slip on it too.
I got to explore the Big Shell where I got to say, hey, it's a wonderful one to be. R.I.P. Arthur. You know that show ended with him getting run over by a bus? That is fucking crazy. I know I'm playing this on a PS5, but man, this is a good looking game. 2001. You know what also came out in 2001? Halo, Combat Evolved, Devil May Cry 1, Max Payne 1, Pamela Anderson's VIP from 2001. Definitely hasn't aged very well. It's genuinely impressive that they managed to cram all this garbage onto a PS2 disc. I think it's kind of nuts. But as well as admiring the graphics and getting into verbal altercations with Raiden's girlfriend, Rose, I eventually found myself in the Strut B Transformer room. This is where one of the 4 members of Dead Cell are introduced. Well, that doesn't sound good. This is where Vamp is introduced. He's one of the Dead Cell guys. He's a fucking vampire, I'm like not even kidding. He wipes out an entire squad of Navy SEALs, and Vamp almost kills Raiden before one of the SEALs saves him. This SEAL then reveals himself to be Iroquois Pliskin. I know what you're thinking, that's Snake. No, it's not, moving on. Anyway, Pliskin's had a tough day and he's a little tuckered out, so the big guy decides to take a nap.
Oh, he's still asleep.
You've earned it, champ.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Raiden leaves, and about 5 seconds later, he ends up stumbling across another member of Dead Cell.
Another cutscene.
Fortune. Her whole gimmick is that she really wants to die, but she can't because bullets keep deflecting off her. Alright. I mean, you know, the other guy's a vampire, so, sure, why not? Very fortunate, I guess. After that cutscene, we're introduced to Peter Stillman.
My name is Peter.
Griffin?
Peter Stillman.
A lot of people hate this guy, fair enough. He's not the most well-written character, and when he's introduced, you're forced to watch this unskippable 3-minute long cutscene.
You won't actually be dismantling the bomb. That's not for amateurs. Here, look at this.
Couldn't move that a bit faster.
Now you spray this on the sucker and there we go. Simple, huh? The spray freezes the detonator instantly. Here, take this with you. It's what they call an ion mobility spectrometer. It can recognize ionized gas emitted by C4s.
The what? In other words, that little gadget sniffs out C4's scent.
What?
That's right.
It just keeps going. Awesome, cool. I've played for an hour and it's been, I think I've played maybe 13 minutes.
For this next part, I had to go around the big shell and freeze a bomb in each strut, left by a guy named Fat Man. There's really not a whole lot to say about the bomb disposal section. It's just walk into one of the struts, find the bomb, freeze it, and then move on to the next one, all while trying not to be spotted.
That's what the kids call epic fail.
With that being said, I did pick up a few more cardboard boxes, and I also grabbed the digital camera, which unlocks the photo finish trophy. After Raiden freezes all the bombs, he's sent back to Strut A. Stillman explodes and dies on the elevator ride down. RIP big fella, I liked his mustache.
Now you spray this on the sucker and there we go. My name is Peter.
Griffin?
Peter Stillman.
Then once I froze the final bomb, I had to fight Fortune. Sort of.
Oh, fuck.
It's less of a fight and more of a run around and don't get de-atomized by her railgun, since you can't actually kill her, as established earlier.
Good.
All you can really do is run around and avoid her shots until Vamp comes down the elevator and then Raiden shoots him in the head.
So there's just a vampire in Metal Gear Solid? Fair enough.
Also, Vamp ain't dead, he's gonna come back, he's a vampire. Fat Man has planted yet another bomb on the Strut E helipad, except this time it's an ambush which then leads into the Fat Man fight. I love Fat Man. He is such a little fucking freak. He drinks wine out of a straw, rides around on roller skates, has beautifully manicured hands, looks like my scrotum, and sounds like this.
I am the greatest that humanity has to offer.
I was not expecting him to sound like that.
Throughout the fight, Fat Man will throw down a bunch of bombs, so he'll have to disarm them while also watching out for his attacks.
Oh!
To defeat him, I had to hit him with my SOCOM, then switch to my M9 and shoot him in the top of his big bald head.
Did I get him? I got him!
Not too complicated, but it did take me about 3 or 4 attempts to beat him, and of course, defeating Fat Man got me the Party's Over trophy.
Party's over, bitch.
As Raiden leaves the heliport, a new cyborg ninja appears going by the name of Mr. X.
It's not Olga, is it?
Raiden is given a disguise.
Oh, thank you.
There's some shit about the lolly lulu low, but the main thing is that I need to find a man by the name of Ames who's being held hostage in the Shell 1 core, which is the middle one. Not this one, that's later, go there later. This one for now. So with my new disguise, I set out to rescue Ames, but in order to complete my disguise, I needed to find an AK from the Strut F warehouse. While in the warehouse, I also grabbed a magazine. Placing the magazine down in front of a guard will distract them because it has boobies.
Yeah, you fucking dirt.
After retrieving the AK and completing my disguise, I entered the Shell 1 core. There was a camera as soon as I got inside, and after destroying it, I got the Bye Bye Big Brother trophy for destroying 5 cameras. I also got Don't Tase Me Bro, cringe name, very horrible, don't fuck me, that sucks, for tranquilizing 100 enemies.
Oh, don't tase me, bro. Take that, idiot.
Then down below in the B2 computer room, I had to retrieve a directional microphone.
D-Mic. Oh, the directional mic.
This is needed to progress the game, but it's also needed to unlock a trophy a little bit later on. I also found the 8th and final cardboard box here as well, attaining the Moving Day trophy. Using the directional mic to find Ames by listening out for his pacemaker, I found him, spoke to him.
Get a haircut, mate. It does not look good.
Figured out where the president is being held, it's in the other's fucking shell. Then I listened in on a conversation between Olga, Ocelot, and the 4th member of Dead Cell, the supposedly dead Solid Snake. But instead of eavesdropping on this incredibly important, eye-opening conversation, I instead turned my attention to the left.
To come all the way to New York just to get hit with a bowel attack.
This is Johnny Sasaki, a recurring character throughout almost all the Metal Gear Solid games. To unlock the Johnny on the Spot trophy, I would have to eavesdrop on Johnny 2 times. The first time is what you're seeing right now, and the second time is a little bit later during the Twilight sniping section. Going back to the real conversation, we hear Snake and Ocelot mention the Patriots. Who are they? First the Lolly Lilo, now the Patriots? Who cares? Because I just got the Thanks Ames trophy. Well, it's just another story, why it's not a big deal. Raiden is discovered, but he's saved by Mr. X.
Oh, it almost happened again.
I then fled from Shell 1 and made my way to Shell 2. Along the way, running into the man who calls himself Solid Snake.
No! That is not Solid Snake!
He's actually Solidus Snake, the ex-president of the United States. You'd think anyone, there's a lot of people who know about these guys, but you think anyone would notice that he looks the same as any of these men, but I guess not. What ensues is the Harrier boss fight.
Oh, man!
It is almost exactly the same as Hind E.
Oh, no, it's Hind E again! Ah, fuck, I hated this one.
Except I don't mind this one. Fat Man is still my favorite, but the Harrier isn't too bad. Compared to the Hind E, where there were like 3 different moves, the Harrier has a bunch of different attacks that include missiles,
oh, what the hell?
miniguns,
Oh, that sounds like actual diarrhea. Oh,
and carpet bombs.
is he shooting off flares? Oh, I did not know what that was going to do.
It's way more engaging, and it also doesn't take like 15 minutes this time. It takes like 7 minutes. So yeah, big step up from the first game.
Oh yeah, look at that. No fly zone, idiot. Oh, sick dodge run. Is he running across water? No way, what? And he's running out. Vamp is the most OP character in Metal Gear. What?
After defeating the Harrier and sneaking past a bunch of guards, I soon discovered the big P-Man himself. I also got pissed on. I should probably mention that because someone in the comments is like, oh, you didn't mention the part where you get urinated on. You get urinated on here. And there it is. He was locked inside of a room with an electric floor preventing me from rescuing him. Yeah, it's basically that one hallway from the first game, except this time the power box is in his room and this fucking moron has a magnet in his forehead.
No!
Right, what's going on?
Worst president. Dumbest fucking president to ever exist. Who elected this guy? Who elected this fucking moron?
Once I disabled the electric floor, I met up with the president, and in classic Kojima fashion, he immediately grip checks Raiden, like instantaneously.
What? What do you do that? What?
A man?
This part is just a really, really long exposition dump, so I'm gonna try and break it down to its bare bones, the basic stuff that you need to know. The president is a figurehead for a secret society known as the Patriots. No one knows who the Patriots are, and they basically run the whole world. It's your typical secret society, Illuminati, hocus pocus cliche, right?
Which it is.
Solidus and the president are in cahoots with each other, but Solidus wants to destroy the Patriots, whereas the president wants to become one of them. Then he reveals the biggest bombshell up until this point. The Big Shell is actually a new type of Metal Gear called Arsenal Gear, which is located at the bottom of the ocean, on the floor of the ocean. It's in the carpet now. And of course, after all that exposition, Ocelot comes in and kills the president. Well, hey, at least I don't have to escort him. Now I had to find Emma Emmerich, the half-sister of good old Shallow Hal. She can be found on one of the lower levels of Shell 2. However, there lay one pretty big bisexual obstacle in the way.
Oh, Vamp.
This is probably the most complex fight in the game. I mean, you still just have to shoot him with a lot of bullets. I mean, it's not that complex. But Vamp, being the freak of nature that he is incredibly agile.
Okay, don't... Oh, fuck me.
So he's able to dodge most of your shots, unless you use a grenade launcher, of course. There's a lot of verticality in the Vamp fight, for him, not for me. He can dive into the water and swim around, then pop out behind you and give you a little kiss on the neck.
Right in the teeth, right in the mouth.
However, most of the time he'll be spinning pirouettes up above. He mostly uses throwing knives that are pretty easy to avoid if you're anyone but me.
No!
But Vamp has this one really annoying move where he'll throw a knife at your shadow and pin it to the ground, which prevents Raiden from moving until you destroy the knife.
You fuck off, Vamp.
So, yeah, kind of a bitch this one. Definitely the hardest boss up until this point. We'll get there in a minute. Luckily, much like Olga, there is a really easy trick to take Vamp out non-lethally as well, which will come in very handy later on for my big boss run.
Oh, fuck that, man.
Now that I had dealt with Vamp, I was free to rescue Emma.
Put your hands up, you're under arrest.
This commences the worst part of the game. MGS1 had the keycard, this game has Emma Emmerich. I wonder what will take the crown of Snake Eater, we'll see. Why does this part suck so much? Well, that's simple. It's an escort mission and a water level. It begins when you find Emma hiding in this closet. She'll piss her pants just like Otacon did in the first game.
Oh my gosh, you tell her not again.
Speaking of Emma, she tells Raiden that she was injected with something that paralyzed her legs, so she can't walk unassisted. Thanks, dude. Real cool. She also has a pretty major case of aquaphobia like that one other guy, which means you'll have to swim with her through 2 underwater sections, which have mines. There are mines there, and you gotta watch out. You gotta make sure she doesn't fucking drown as well. You gotta make sure you don't explode, she don't drown. And you have to hold her hand while avoiding and eliminating a bunch of guards along the way. This all eventually culminates in the Twilight sniping section.
Yeah, it's alright.
For this part, you have to protect Emma as she very slowly, which is an understatement, walks across this bridge. Thankfully, it's not particularly tough or anything. There are a few guards that you'll have to snipe, as well as flying drones, even some claymores. But it's nothing too crazy. But, speaking of butts, after Emma makes her way across the second bridge, pull out the directional mic and point it over here. This is where you will find the second and final Johnny conversation, unlocking the Johnny on the spot trophy.
Oh, poor Johnny. There it is, Johnny on the spot.
Unfortunately, to cap off this wonderful experience, Vamp jumps out of the water, grabbing Emma. Raiden shoots him, but in the process, Emma is fatally wounded.
Oh shit, did I do that?
Emma is taken to Otacon, where she then dies in her brother's arms.
No! Oh. I'm actually very sad.
It's not all for nothing though, because on Emma's rotting corpse is a computer virus that she designed to slowly destroy Arsenal gear from within. With that being said, how are we supposed to get in the Arsenal? It's at the bottom of the ocean. There's no elevator there. Well, there is an elevator there, but we can't take it. Well, it turns out that Mr. X isn't a Mr. after all. It is indeed Olga Gurlukovich.
I fucking knew it, man.
Really hit the nail on the head, didn't I?
It's not Olga, is it?
And she has been working alongside Pliskin for the Lali Lulu Lobe. They betray Raiden and he wakes up sometime later inside of Arsenal Gear, a prisoner of Ocelot and Solidus. Of course, they didn't actually betray Raiden, and after Olga details her entire life story, she has a kid and the Lali Lulu kidnapped her kid. That's it. That's all you need to know. After this touching moment, Olga then punches Raiden in the stomach to make it look real.
Oh, sharing is caring. Look at that. Thanks.
Olga releases Raiden from his confines and now naked and alone and probably afraid.
Oh, my cock and balls hanging out.
Raiden must stop Solidus and Arsenal Gear. As I carefully snuck my way through Arsenal's jejunum, it's this thing, it wasn't long before... hold on, I'm getting a call.
Honestly though, you have played the game for a long time. Don't you have anything else to do with your time?
What the fuck? What the fuck was that?
This is the big reveal of the game. Turns out the Colonel and Rose aren't who they say they are. In fact, they ain't even human. Throughout this whole game, the Colonel and Rose you've been speaking to are really Arsenal gear. They're an AI. Wow, what a crazy reveal. I already knew about it. Also, Snake's back. He's back, turns out him and Pliskin, same guy. Did not see that coming.
She got a great ass!
Snake gives back all of Raiden's stuff, including a new weapon, the HF Blade. Obtaining this epic blade meant I had finally unlocked Weapon Completionist Plant. This next part is pretty damn cool.
Whoa! I got him. Who's that? Oh! Snake's killing him before I can even get to him. Oh, dude, this sword is awesome, even though I'm like kind of terrible with it. Oh! What? Fish and mail? Who's mailing me fish? Dude, this game is fantastic. I love this game. This is like the best game I've ever played, maybe.
Montage over.
Unfortunately, Fortune has to go and ruin all the fun. Snake holds her back while Raiden continues on ahead, determined to stop Solidus. Now, we begin the Metal Gear Ray fight.
Come here. I don't care for the Metal Gear Ray fight.
That's not to say I think it's bad, the spectacle is pretty neat, but alas, it's kind of repetitive and I also might be a little bit biased.
Oh, fuck off, man.
The big thing with this fight are actually three big things. In the previous game you only had to fight Rex, but this time around you'll have to fight 3 Rays all at the same time. They go down easily enough, especially on normal, so it's not like it takes 15 minutes to kill one of them, but still, it's just kind of like, not a fan. Alright, what else do you want me to say? Ahoy, yeah, upon editing this I realized that I forgot to mention the part where, so I mentioned there's like, you fight 3 Rays at the same time. It's not just 3 in the fight, it's like, it changes each difficulty. Like on easy, you only have to fight the 3 and then that's it, you're done, they die like 3 shots. On normal, you have to fight 6 in total, so it's like, you kill one, then another one will come along, and then you just keep doing that until you defeat 6. But on extreme, so you're only fighting the 3 at the same time, but you have to fight 20 of them in total, and that sucks because you die in like 1 hit from practically every move. So I just wanted to clarify that. I forgot to mention you don't fight 3 Rays in total, you fight like multiple, you only fight 3 at a single time, or else, you know, the PS2 would explode. Alright, bye bye, hugs and kisses. Once the fight was over, Solidus wins because it's a game from that time period. Again though, before Raiden is killed by Solidus, Olga saves the day, but considering the fact that she is basically another Grey Fox, well, it doesn't really end well for her.
Oh shit! Oh, that was fucked. Oh, that was fucked up.
We then get another really long exposition dump. There's some stuff about GW and the S3 plan. Turns out the Lali Lilu Lo are the Patriots, and there's a lot of other bullshit. It's a lot. And I'll be honest, most of it, pretty much all of it, went in one ear and out the other. But I will take the time to mention there is a little minigame where Raiden is strangled by Solidus.
Oh, hey, Ocelot. Oh. Holy shit! What?
This will be very important later on during my big boss run, so remember it. Write it down if you have to.
Snake, help out. Ocelot's watching me like when I was in the shower with Quiet. What the hell?
During this exposition dump, Ocelot reveals that everything that's happened throughout the game was essentially a simulation, which is why everything that has happened on the big shell is almost identical to everything that happened at Shadow Moses. You know, it's all to train Raiden, to make him like a new Snake or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, I got most of it. This is when it's like bombards you with stuff and I'm just like, I don't know. Shit's more confusing than Lost Highway. R.I.P. David Lynch. Ocelot then betrays Solidus and kills Fortune. Turns out her whole bullet deflecting thing was just a box. I don't know how she didn't realize.
What? How can like a 100-year-old man just do that jump?
Also, Liquid takes over Ocelot's body. That's yet another thing I didn't really mention, but after Ocelot's hand was cut off, he took Liquid's hand and glued it on. Now Liquid is taking over Ocelot, or Ocelot is just going senile. I mean, the guy's like 100 years old. I don't know. Liquid Ocelot hijacks yet another Metal Gear. Again, a bunch of cool shit happens. Turns out Fortune does have superpowers, and then she dies for real. Liquid dives into the ocean, and Snake pursues.
Oh.
Then it cuts, and suddenly Arsenal's crashed into New York City. Seems a little sudden, I wonder why. There is one more insanely long codec call between the AI kernel and Raiden, but honestly forget about it, because now I get to sword fight Solidus on top of a building.
Fuck you, dude. I'm a fire! Oh. What? Whoa, don't hurt me. Come on, he's almost there. I'm so close. I'm so close. I got him. I got another snake bastard. No.
And that was that. Except it wasn't.
What the? Impossible!
Because there was still one final trophy I had to unlock. Vamp, to get this, I would have to find Vamp hidden in the crowd during the final cutscene, because of course that motherfucker ain't dead. Now, I thought I had initially missed this trophy because I thought you had to press R1 to zoom in when it's actually R2. I was not very happy when I found out about this.
Fuck! I missed Vamp! Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button! Ah! I fucking miss Vamp. Fuck! I gotta do it again.
Luckily for me, there are a few opportunities where he is visible, and I think I caught him at like the last possible chance.
God fucking damn it, man. God fucking damn it. I missed Vamp! See there? See there? Vamp! Vamp! I got Vamp. I saw a little snippet.
So what next? There were still 16 trophies between me and the Platinum, a lot of which I could get pretty easily. So I began with Casting Theater. The Casting Theater is just this thing where you can rewatch certain cutscenes and like swap out the models and stuff.
Holy shit. It's some random woman.
There's one trophy for rewatching a cutscene, and there's a second for swapping out Raiden to Rose and Solidus to Raiden during the final cutscene to that, you know, like Rose kills Raiden, basically.
I don't know what's all this. Oh, love hurts.
Next, I got cover-to-cover solid Books of the Patriots. Unlike the last game where I did actually read the script, I didn't do it this time because I didn't want to.
How long is this one? 800 pages? Yeah, I'm not reading it.
I'm not doing that. Skedaddle. I figured the next quick and easy trophy after that would be No Boss of Mine. This is for completing the boss rush mode. I'm sure most of you are familiar with a boss rush. Basically, you just fight every boss back to back and your health carries over between each fight. Not particularly tough. I did play on easy, but despite that, I still died because it's me playing the game. Like, don't forget. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I'm not good at video games.
Sometimes he does that. That was a fucking slick dodge, dude. Oh, No Boss of Mine.
Moving on to Tell Me a Tale for completing one of the Snake Tales. Snake Tales are non-canon missions in which you play as Snake, trying to do something, I guess. For example, in the Big Shell Evil mission, the Big Shell is being used as a front to smuggle drugs.
There's a serial killer on the Big Shell? Is it me? Open up! Oh my god, his fucking brain splattered all over my eyes.
And you have to escort Emma again.
Big Shell Evil sucks. This is shit. And it's so long.
They're okay. I don't love them. They suffer from a real bad case of wall of text syndrome, where instead of getting these nice, high-quality cutscenes, you're presented the story through these giant, way too long walls of text. And the stories aren't anything particularly great, either. Maybe the last two levels are absolute cinema, but I wasn't interested in finding out. Once I was done with the Snake Tales, it was unfortunately time for all the bad stuff. First up were all 361 dog tags. Collecting each and every one of these would unlock a total of 4 trophies. Each difficulty has its own set of tags. Basically what this means is I'll have to play through the game 5 times to find every dog tag, all the way from very easy to extreme. Beginning as Snake on normal, this first run was pretty uneventful. I already had the majority of the 33 tags I needed, so there are only a few left for me to find, one of which was on this guard who's kind of of hidden in the crew's quarters. He only spawns when you enter the food pantry for whatever reason, and because of that he can be missed very easily.
AG Snake. Cool name, dude.
Even though I was only going for the dog tags, I did try to make a little bit of progress in a few other trophies. Trophies like rent money and nothing personal. These are just basic combat related trophies like knocking out 30 enemies with melee and snapping the necks of 30 enemies.
I just gotta kill him. 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 I fucked up. I gotta kill him. I had to kill that guy. I had to kill this guy. I had to kill that guy. Oh shit. Oh shit, I had to kill that guy. Oh fuck it.
I wouldn't get nothing personal for quite a while, but during the ambush sequence I managed to knock out my 30th and final guard, unlocking rent money.
Oh, there we go. Finally got rent money. Took long enough.
The only other tags I needed were on a few of the Marines in the hold. These guys weren't super difficult either, but they can be kind of hard to find. Most of them were either with the main group of Marines patrolling around or just standing guard, but there are 2 Marines that can be found up top on the balcony. There are 2 ways to get to them. The first is by leveling up Snake's grip strength up to level 2. Yuck. No thanks. The second and much easier way to do it is to just have full health. Turns out, if you have full health, you have more grip strength. But it has to be at the max. It can't be like 99.9%. You have to be at a full 100%. After I got those 2 tags from the Marines in hold 1 and 3...
Oh, is that Darkside Phil? Here's a history with this game.
I don't want to fucking go prone behind a rail. I want to run this way. Yo, the controls are fucking god-awful.
I turned in the photos to Otacon and completed my first run of the Tanker chapter. During the results screen, I also unlocked the Pacifist Run trophy for completing the game without killing anyone. Then I did all of that all over again, but on very easy this time. It still wasn't much of a challenge for the most part, but now I had to grab everyone's tag, including Olga's.
There it is.
I also unlocked the Yorkie trophy at the end of this run.
Oh, Yorkie! There it is.
This unlocks the Infinity Bandana for Snake, which gives you infinite ammo when equipped. It is also super long.
Holy shit, look how long that fucking Infinity Bandana is. That's long as shit.
Now, onto easy, or as I like to call it...
Oh, man.
Remember that one Marine without pants? Well, now I had to get his dog tag, and I don't know if you've noticed, but he is kind of in the middle of everyone. Luckily for me, I had just unlocked the Infinity Bandana.
Oh, my Infinity Bandana is not equipped. Let me equip that, because I'm running out of ammo bullets.
So, from my book depository, I slowly and methodically tranquilized every guard in the room, so that way I could walk up behind them and...
Ah! Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Alright, let's try it again.
What? Oh.
Looks like I wasn't gonna get the dog tag that way. Although, there was another way. Wasn't easy though. This time, instead of sneaking up on the Marine, I would bring the Marine to me. To do this, I would have to stand in this specific spot and aim at his waistline. Then I had to switch to the magazine, line up this part of the magazine just above this line, then throw it. As you can imagine, did not go well.
How's that? Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Ah! A bit above the thing and then throw it. I fucking hit some other guy. I hit 2 other guys. Fuck! Are they coming? Are they coming? No, they're not. They don't care. They just got some guy just got hit in there with a rock and he's like, what the fuck happened? I was a little... Okay, no. Snipe! And then that's it. That's golden. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Where? Who also got hit in the head? Ah! That sucked. That was the worst one. That sucked. I hated that. Fuck that.
Completing the tanker for a 3rd time meant I had finally unlocked Poodle for getting the stealth camo. But I still had to complete the tanker section 2 more times on hard and extreme. Holy shit, this was boring. Now that I had the stealth camo, it made everything really easy because I could just sneak by everyone now, so there wasn't any challenge to it. Not that I'm complaining, I'd rather this was mind-numbingly boring than head-bashingly hard.
Why are none of them wearing pants? What? Why are none of them wearing pants?
After I completed my extreme run and had found every single dog tag in the tanker, every single one, the horrible realization dawned on me. The plant is way longer, with way more enemies. I was not feeling great. Turns out, as I often do when making these videos, I read the rules wrong. So with the Master Collection, they removed another 2 trophies, St. Bernard and Great Dane. Basically, in the HD Collection on the PS3, you had to get every single dog tag, but now you don't need to anymore. You only need enough for the Beagle and Shiba Inu trophies, which unlocks infinite ammo and stealth camo for Raiden. That meant I really only had to play through the game twice, on very easy and easy. So yeah, because of that, there's really not a whole lot to say about the plant portion. Just play through the game twice using a guide to find all the tags, and that was that. Moving on to the VR missions.
Leave me alone!
Even though going in I knew I wouldn't have to complete every VR mission, I still did not feel good about this. If you haven't seen my first video, what the fuck? But if you haven't seen it, you should know that completing every single VR mission stunk. It sucked. It was the worst trophy in the game. I hated it. The trophies I was going for were piece of cake for completing one VR mission and in it to win it for getting first place in 50 different VR missions. The VR missions are split up into multiple different categories this time, even different characters. There's normal Raiden, Grey Fox and Naked Raiden. Then for Snake, there's Normal Snake, Iroquois Pliskin, Tuxedo Snake, and MGS1 Snake. Only Normal Raiden and Snake are immediately available, while all the other characters have to be unlocked, if you're a chump like I am, because it wasn't until writing this script when I found out you can very easily unlock every single VR mission by using the Konami code.
Up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. Okay. B, A, and enter, I think. Oh, look at that! They're all unlocked.
Beginning with Raiden, I started with the sneaking missions. These are 10 missions in which I must reach the goal while also avoiding detection. These weren't too tough. I even actually enjoyed some of them. It was fun trying to figure out a route to not only complete the level, but to also try and complete it as fast as possible.
Yeah, look at that.
Of course, after beating the first level, I got piece of cake for completing a VR mission. Since most of these sneaking levels weren't all that tough, I tried to get first place in as many of them as I could. After all, I only needed to get first place in 50 missions, and considering there were 10 of these that I had to complete twice, I mean that's almost like 20 levels right there. 40 if I did them again as Snake. The weapon missions were up next. These suck. I hated these.
Weapon mode! Oh, great. We got every weapon. Every weapon.
In the first game, these weren't too bad, but that's because you couldn't aim in first person, whereas now you have to be almost pinpoint accurate when shooting these targets. Fuck! But the thing is, the aiming just isn't very good. It feels like shit. Don't even get me started on the assault rifles.
Yeah, I'm not getting first on any of these. I'm not gonna bother.
Surprisingly enough though, the C4 and Claymore levels, which I hated in the first game, weren't that bad this time around. I even managed to get first place on a few of them.
That's fucking feist. Yeah!
The grenades still sucked. Those didn't change.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
You even get a grenade launcher now. It's not great. It's probably one of the worst grenade launchers I've ever used in a game.
Alright, I hate this one already. What?! How did that not hit it?
So a lot of the time I ended up either overshooting the target or just completely undershooting it, just completely whiffing it.
26, 27, 28. So I'm already over halfway, and I'm still doing Raiden.
However, a new addition to Metal Gear Solid 3's VR missions are the 5 first-person mode levels.
It's just fucking VR missions, but you're in first person. I mean, yeah, that's what it is, you fucking idiot.
Sounds cool. Once again, I was not a fan. At this point, I didn't even bother trying to get first place because it just didn't seem worthwhile. I was just trying to get through these as fast as possible. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of these, some of the levels were interesting. There was this one level that was almost pitch black, and there was another that had these tall building-like structures with a lot of verticality. I thought these were neat. But once I had completed first-person mode, I unlocked the variety missions. I was very excited for these because this is what I had fun with in the first game. Everything before was on a scale of it's fine to shit, but now we could get into the fun stuff. Imagine all the cool stuff Konami could do after leaving the PS1 in the dust. What wacky ideas Kojima would come up with. Well, I have bad news because the variety missions are barren. There are no more verse 12 levels, no more puzzles, that's fine, no NG selection, and no more mystery missions. God damn it. Now they were replaced with a bunch of garbage. One of these I had to avoid a bunch of mines.
Bullshit.
For another, I had to climb to the goal.
Bullshit.
Another one was in the dark.
Derivative.
But the one with the Kaiju Spetsnaz?
That I absolutely love.
The seventh and final variety mission though, I don't have a great time with it. It's called Zacco Survival, and it's a real son of a bitch. You're in a small room with a divide in the middle, riding on one side and your opponent's on the other. It's round based, so the first round is only one guy, then after he's defeated, the second round has multiple guys. Then after that, there are armored guys, and then finally Tengu. Then in the final round, I had to fight a giant Godzilla-like Spetsnaz.
Go Lugon.
You have to shoot it with the stinger to reveal these points that you then have to shoot with other weapons, either an AK, PSG, or pistol. It doesn't matter, bullets. Shoot with bullets. He has this move that'll freeze you in place, which is a lot of fun, but eventually I managed to get the rhythm down and defeat him after a couple attempts, of course.
Oh, fuck you, go googly on.
That's all the VR missions. Next up are the alternative missions.
69%? That's hilarious.
These were okay. I liked them more than the typical VR missions. Rather than taking place in a VR world, they take place on a simulated big shell or sometimes a tanker. These include bomb disposal missions, elimination mode again, hold up mode, and finally photography mode. What?
You serious?
The bomb disposal missions are what it sounds like. There are 5 levels, and each one you must find and disarm all the bombs. Pretty simple. I did enjoy these. I don't really know why. I think it's because I had to actually try and use my noggin, my monkey brain. That actually hurt. Wow. And some of these can be in some pretty hard to find places as well.
Oh, it's in the sink.
With that being said, none of these were particularly tough, although it was neat playing through the tanker and arsenal gear trying to find the bombs in each of these areas. And I did manage to get first place in all 5 levels as well, because they're really easy, especially once you know where all the bombs are.
Well, that's all the bomb disposal stuff. That was alright, I actually quite like those.
Elimination mode. It's elimination mode. What else do you want? Not a whole lot going on here, just kill and murder and maim. I only got first place in 4 of these because some of these were kind of hard, like this one where the guys are invisible.
Oh, that's an invisible man. That's an invisible man right there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna bother with that one.
Oh, I didn't even get fucking third.
Hold up mode is also pretty self-explanatory. You have X number of enemies and a level that you need to hold up. It's basically just elimination mode, except instead of going up behind a guy and blowing his brains out, you go up behind him and pointing a gun at him and you get scared. I didn't love these or anything, but it was an interesting and different challenge, trying to lure a guard into the right position and sneak up behind them and hold them up, where they fucking disintegrate. Now we arrive at photography mode. At the beginning of each level, you're given a task. That task is to photograph a thing. I say thing because in the first level, I had to take a photo of an Easter Island head, one of these. Easy enough.
This is the worst game I've ever played.
But for the second level, I had to take a photo of a guard as he fell to his knees. This one was not so easy.
That is bad.
These were pretty whatever, if I'm being honest. Actually surprisingly hard to get first place in any of them. You'd think taking a photo of a thing would be easy, but no, it's like really hard to get first place in any of these.
3 stars, look at that. And I still got fucking second.
Aside from the ghost one, I got that one first try. I don't really know how I got that one first try, but whatever,
Oh, that's the ghost! That's a ghost right there. That's a fucking ghost. Take a photo of that ghost.
Nice work.
And with that, we continue on to the Grey Fox missions, beginning with the sneaking missions. Again, honestly, they really weren't anything that crazy. It was really just the exact set.
And it's a win! Oh! That's 50.
Well, with those done, I guess all I have left is big boss, ladies and gentlemen, big boss. Shit. Oh, and this one.
Ah, fucking finally, man.
I had but one last obstacle to conquer before I could lay my grubby little mitts on the Metal Gear Solid 2 Platinum Trophy. The Big Boss rank. To get this rank, I would have to complete the game in under 3 hours without killing anyone. This includes bosses. A maximum of 3 alerts, but much like the first game, this actually means 0 alerts because once again, there are 3 mandatory alerts. No rations used, no special items like infinite ammo or the stealth cloak, no mini-map. I have to fire less than 700 shots, which sounds like a lot, but that can add up very quickly on a fight like Fat Man, the Harrier, or even the Rays. I can also only take 10 health bars or less of damage. That sounds kind of confusing, but basically just means I can't be taking a lot of damage throughout my run. I must also play the game on Extreme. There is European Extreme, which makes the game even harder, but that's not necessary to get Big Boss. You can do it on European Extreme if you're a fucking maniac, but I'm not. so I ain't gonna. Then finally, the worst part of the big boss rank. MGS1 let me save 80 times. Too many. It made the game really easy. MGS3 lets you save 25 times. Seems pretty sensible, like, yeah, that's a good amount. This game only lets me save 8 times. One single minor mistake could send me back who knows how far.
Fuck!
This is what makes Metal Gear Solid 2 the hardest game I have ever platinumed. And I've got some real dirty dog. My first challenge upon starting my big boss run was the tanker. Not only would I have to play almost perfectly, but I also had to do this entire section in one attempt, because I couldn't afford to waste a save this early on in the game. For reference, my first save was going to be when I first got control of Raiden in the big shop, so that meant I had to get to Olga, fight Olga, sneak through the engine room, fight those guards outside the hold, then sneak through the hold and take 4 photos of Ray all in one attempt. This took about 4 days. Even though my objective was to simply get to Olga, it wasn't simple. First there were the guards outside that I had to sneak past, easy enough. Then when I entered the ship I had to wait for about half a second after the door closes because of this guard around the corner. If you go immediately after entering the room, he'll spot you and then you gotta restart. Then I knocked out these 2 guards and very carefully snuck behind this guard before arriving at my first hurdle. This camera. You may think it's easy, right? It's a camera. It slowly turns in 2 directions. How can that be hard? Well, because I can't see the camera's cone of vision anymore, because, you know, no radar. So trying to carefully sneak past just doesn't seem worth it. It takes too long and I'll probably get spotted anyway. So the other, much more complicated, yet surprisingly easier way goes like this. Upon running up the stairs, skip the cutscene as fast as you can, then run alongside the wall, and as soon as Snake's head lines up with this railing, roll. If you did this correctly, which you probably won't the first few times, don't worry about it.
What?
You'll dodge under the camera. This sounds a lot harder than it really is, but considering how many times I had to do this, it became muscle memory.
I got past it.
Then after that, I just had to roll onto this guard and quickly make my way up these stairs to Olga. All in all, this takes about a minute and a half. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there is a trick to Olga. By sitting in this one very specific spot and crouching down, Olga will sort of bug out. Don't know, a big ant. Big bug. She'll run back and forth trying to throw a grenade at you, and every time she reaches this position you want to shoot her in the leg. Rinse and repeat that until she finally goes down. Really not hard at all, in theory.
Hello internet, welcome to Game Theory.
Why is Olga Gurlukovich Olga Gurlukovich? A Game Theory. Klaus. Oh, shut up. I don't know what it was, but when I was doing the dog tags, I could get this every time without fail. But of course, when it came to this, I just could not get the positioning down for the life of me. So many runs died here because Olga just wouldn't do what I wanted her to do.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
So after going at Olga for a while, that's a weird sentence. So after going at Olga for a while and making absolutely 0 progress, I eventually called it quits and came back the next day. I was feeling fresh, I was feeling better, I was ready to defeat Olga. Now that I knew the route, I could focus on actually beating Olga this time, which I managed to do pretty quickly.
Gotta fucking gotta, mate.
But I blundered it about 5 seconds later anyway.
What?
By the way, I haven't mentioned it yet, but every single time I mess up and have to restart, it takes about a minute to get back into the game and play as Snake. Doesn't sound too long, but you feel each and every one of those seconds tick by.
And now I'm back into the game. What is that, like 30 seconds? How long was that?
My next objective after defeating Olga was getting to the hold. It starts off easy enough, run through the kitchen. This guard would spot me, but by the time he's able to alert anyone, I'm already in the next area. In the first game, being spotted meant an instant alert, whereas in the second game, you have some time before the guard calls it in and raises the alarm. So if you can knock out a guard or get to the next area before they call in the alert, you're safe. You don't need to worry about it. There were a few other tricky parts though, like knocking out this guard and his buddy.
Snake! I didn't fucking Snake got a cold!
But the first major obstacle in the tanker was the engine room. The first couple times I made it in here, I failed miserably.
Oh my fucking god, of course he sneezed!
To get past this room, I'd have to tranquilize every guard, which makes you think it should be easy. And it is, but it wasn't. You capiche? Every time I made it in here, a little goblin in my room shot me with a little blow dart right in the neck. You know what that blow dart was tipped with? Stupid. Tipped with stupid. Look at microscope. Stupid. so I don't really have any fancy tips or tricks to help me get through the engine room. Sometimes I did it, sometimes I didn't, not much for me to really say here. But next was the part that scared me, more than Olga, more than the engine room. It was the first guard rush.
Get Snake! Fuck! Oh!
This fight is one of the hardest sections of the entire big boss run. I have enough trouble with this as is on normal. Now I had to do it on extreme while also trying not to miss my shots and also trying not to take too much damage. There is actually a way to heal yourself by crouching and not moving. However, this can only be done when your health is in the orange and it doesn't regenerate all the way. Most of my runs died here, whether it was a grenade that blew up or they just riddled me with bullets. All I could do was persevere and just get it done.
I got it, yeah! Huh.
Now I was on to the hold. This was it. I was at the end. All I had to do was sneak by all the Marines and take 4 photos of Ray. I just needed to play it slow and safe, which is why I decided now would be the perfect time to do a trick I had never done before.
Fuck!
Snake, what's wrong? Snake?
I was dreading my return to this game. It had been about a week since I last played, and I was not feeling good. I had gone through this section so many times that even after a week of not playing, I managed to get all the way up to the guard rush on my first attempt. Of course I died, and I had to do it all again about 5 more times.
I'm dead.
But eventually, I made it back to the hole. This time, I didn't try anything fancy. I just took my time, slow and easy, alright? Like an old lady crossing the street. And finally, after 3 days of attempts and 2 weeks of procrastinating, I did it. I beat the tanker section.
Get me out of this!
It took me roughly 4 hours across those 3 days to get past the tanker, and you want to know how long it took me?
15 minutes. That's all it took. I hate this game.
There were a few areas I could have saved at that would have been easier in the long run, like after I talked to Stillman or after I ride up the elevator. But I chose the starting area because of these 3 guards that are about to wake up. For this part, I had to wait for the elevator to come down. However, it's not that simple because I also had to avoid Curly, Larry, and Mo. But I also didn't have the M9 yet, so I had to get creative. I just want to mention, these aren't my ideas. I stole these from this video. I use this as like a guide for like my entire big boss run. So any fancy things you see me doing here, it's from that. I didn't think of any of this stuff. I'm a hack and a fraud. First up was Curly, who's kind of hidden away down below. As he wakes up, I had to choke him out just a little, not too much, or else I'd snap his neck. Yeah, don't want that. That's a kill. Then I had to let go of him and punch him in the dick to knock him out. That's real, by the way. You can punch people in the nuts. After he had been dealt with, I then had to walk in a view of Larry so that he notices me but doesn't immediately call in an alert. Then I had to wait between these boxes, and once Mo turned around, I knocked on the wall. Then I had to run up behind Larry, throw him, and escape on the elevator just as it arrives. After riding up the elevator, my objective was to reach Stillman.
How's it going, handsome?
This wouldn't be too hard. There were a few guards I had to sneak by, but it wasn't anything crazy. After I made it to Stillman, I began the bomb disposal segment. I had to defuse 10 bombs on extreme without screwing up a single time.
Oh my fucking god, I meant to... I had to press X!
Then once I did that, I would have to fight Fortune without dying, finally saving at the Fat Man fight. The first bomb I had to defuse could be found quite easily in the Strut B transformer room behind this door. Next were 2 bombs in Strut A. There was one in the pump room and another one up top. The bomb in the pump room proved to be quite tricky. To get the bomb, I would have to crawl under these pipes, which is excruciatingly slow, especially because there's this prick patrolling around the room. So I had to remove him from the equation. My first attempt failed, and I had to do everything I had just done all over again, but as they say, second time's a charm, and I managed to stuff him into one of these lockers. I was now free to freeze the bomb, but I still had the second bomb up top. Luckily, this one didn't require all that much finessing, just had to hit this guy with the old rub and tug, as my uncle used to say.
Right inside of him.
And then freeze the bomb. I do want to mention that even getting to each strut was a challenge in and of itself because each bridge had some annoying bullshit I had to deal with. And I'm not gonna go into detail about each bridge, that was very Australian. I'm not going to go into detail about each bridge, but I just want you guys to know that these exist and each one had its own specific way of dealing with it. Entering the Strut F warehouse, I first had to knock out this guard. Once again, didn't do it very well and I panicked, but I didn't raise an alert, so good enough.
Oh shit, I fucked it up.
Finally, I obtained the M9. Now the game was just a tiny, little, itsy bit easier. Thankfully, the rest of the warehouse isn't ridiculous or anything. I could just tranquilize each guard, then drop down and freeze the bomb. Next up was the Strut E parcel room. This is the worst one by far. This is the worst room. This one, I hate the fuck. This room normally is kind of tough to get through. On extreme, it is, believe it or not, worse. There are of course more bombs, but now there are also cameras. And guess where the bomb is in this area? Is it A, hiding up in these columns? B, stuck on a guarded back? Or C, the bomb is stuck to one of the moving crates on the conveyor belt, which means you have to knock out all the guards, then shoot all the cameras, all with very strict timing. Of course, this being my first time doing this, I messed up the timing, so I just had to sit there like an idiot until the bomb finally appeared again.
Oh! 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 I got it. I got it. Upstairs.
There was another bomb in the usual spot on the helipad, but there's nothing really noteworthy to say about that. Moving on to the Strut D sediment pool. This is one of the worst areas in the game.
Oh! Whatever.
If you don't have the M9, which is why we go down this way and not up this way. But using the M9, I just had to take out all the guards in a certain order to avoid raising an alert, then freeze the 3 bombs that can be found hidden throughout. I returned to the Strut C dining room to retrieve the second sensor, still known least for Raiden, and I also froze the bomb hidden inside the bathroom. Once again, I had to head to Strut A and down the elevator to freeze the final bomb in the starting room. And with that, I was done with the bomb disposal section. All I needed to do now was survive Fortune.
What?
The strat for Fortune was simple. Equip the cardboard box and run. Yes, I am serious. That's the plan. For some reason, it works. It's not that simple. There's a little more to it than that, but don't worry about it.
Oh, is that it? That's it! That's it! That's it! Oh, I did not think I'd get that done today. This part done. I thought I was gonna be spending like another 3, 4, 5 days just trying to do this shit. But no, I got it relatively quick.
With little to no trouble, I arrived at Fat Man and made my second save.
Oh, 40 minutes. That's not good.
And then I didn't play the game for another week. Why? No reason really. Fear mostly, actually. Each and every day, I was dreading my return to this game, and so I just put it off for 2 weeks. Was this a great idea? Probably not. But I had to get back in the saddle at some point, so on Wednesday, the 27th of November, I booted up the game and took a crack at Fat Man. It went horribly and I gave up after 20 minutes.
Oh, you fat fucking c***.
So then, on the next day, on the 28th of November 2024, I woke up bright and early. I moved my setup into another room with better air circulation so that way I wouldn't fry while playing this game. I grabbed myself an apple, sat down in my squeaky chair, and turned on my PS5 with one goal in mind. I will, no matter what, finish this game once and for all and get the Metal Gear Solid 2 Platinum Trophy.
It's a new day. Had a bad time last night. Didn't have a great time with the Fat Man fight. I've switched up my surroundings and it's much earlier in the day now. It is currently 1:02 p.m. not a.m. in the afternoon. You wouldn't know it's the afternoon because it is the most depressing looking day outside my window. It is grey. It's been raining all day. It's quite cold, which is I actually appreciate it because the last couple of days it's been hot as balls. I'm going to try and just get this shit done today because each and every day I play for a couple hours, maybe 15 minutes, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then I go to bed, I make zero progress, I go to bed, I wake up the next morning, I do whatever stuff I have to do during the day, and then I come back to the game later that night and I'm just dreading it. The whole day, I'm just dreading it. I'm just thinking, I don't want to play this game. But I gotta make a video on it. And I'm just gonna try and crank this shit out. For the rest of the day, it's 1:04 p.m. Hopefully this is better. Hopefully, hopefully it's not bad. Because this shit sucks.
Going into Fat Man, there was almost no strategy. It was just a classic case of get good. I mean, that's not entirely true. There were a few things I could do to ease the fight, I guess, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking like Olga or Unfortunate. Each time I began the fight, I would run back and defuse his first bomb, then I would run up to Fat Man and knock him down. Next, I'd defuse the second bomb before landing my first shot on him. Once he stood back up, he'd do this back and forth like little dance. Once you see the laser on his skate, that means you can shoot it, which will knock Fat Man down for a second time. He does this a few times throughout the fight, but this is the only guaranteed time he does it. But you can do it every so often if you catch him, basically. Catch him doing it. There is also a very small window in which you can hit Fat Man a second time as he stands back up, but this shot can be pretty tricky to land. I got better at this as time went on, but I still whiffed it, like, all the time, pretty much. And that's about all the strategy in this fight. Not a whole lot, not a super complicated fight, but a very hard one. I had spent over 45 minutes on this fight, and I was yet to beat him a single time. Obviously, as time went on, I got better and more consistent, but holy shit, this was one of the hardest parts of this entire run.
What? He fucking slapped me in the ass.
After over an hour on this fight alone, I finally beat him.
I got it. Oh my god, I got him. Fucking finally.
My third save would be at the start of the Harrier fight, which meant I would have to retrieve the AK from the warehouse, sneak into the Shell 1 core while avoiding the mines on this bridge. I would have to retrieve the directional microphone, then I would have to lure a guard into this eye scanner. After that, I'd need to use the microphone to find aims, while also avoiding detection from one of the many guards patrolling around. Then I would have to escape from the shell, still avoiding detection from all the guards and ciphers, then make my way through each strut until I got to the bridge connecting shell 1 and 2. From there, I would have to disarm a number of bombs by shooting their control panels, and if I miss and hit something I shouldn't, like one of said bombs or one of these moving ciphers, they will all explode and cause a restart.
Oh, I did not know that would happen.
But assuming I do all that in one run perfectly, I'll be rewarded with the Harrier boss fight.
Fuck!
So after fighting Fat Man 100 more times, I eventually made it back to the bridge. I had to run at a very specific angle so as to not step on the mine. But before I could go any further, I had to destroy this cipher. If I got a little too close, that's an alert, and you know what that means. Thankfully, the next couple of areas were pretty simple. That is actually a lie. I've just told you a big fat fib. Because entering the Strut F warehouse, I would have to run up to this wall and throw out a punch-punch kick-kick combo, which is just, circle 3 times. Then I had to do 2 flips down the staircase before entering this room, also that I had the perfect timing to tranquilize this guard without him spotting me. From there, I picked up the AK and made my way to the Shell 1 core. Now that I was in disguise, I didn't have to worry about the guard spotting me, so I could easily grab the directional mic, then grab this guard, using him to open up the door to Ames.
Get his ass in there. Get his ass!
Ames' location changes every time, however his model doesn't, so I ran around the room looking for the pale freak with gross hair. Luckily he was right next to the entrance. Unluckily, there were 2 guards patrolling right next to him. One of them is literally just looking at a wall. That is complete baloney. After speaking to Ames, I then had to escape from the core. There is one guard hanging right outside the elevator, so I had to knock on the wall and tranquilize him once he turned the corner. This next part had a really tight timing window. I began by throwing a chaff grenade in the elevator, which I immediately fumbled. At least I didn't completely fumble everything else, although my timing was a little off tranquilizing these guards, which another guard managed to call in. And now, as far as I'm aware, in this moment, I didn't think I got an alert. I was really hoping I didn't get an alert. I guess we'll find out at the end, won't we? I did have to return to the warehouse to retrieve the tranquilizer version of the PSG for the Twilight sniping section, but this wasn't too tough and it isn't really worth talking about. And luckily the rest of the struts weren't really that bad, all things considered. I just used the cardboard box to sneak through the parcel room, the irony, and I just tranquilized all the guards in the sediment pool. Then to cap off this short but incredibly stressful section, I had to shoot 14 bomb control panels. Most of these are pretty easy, but there are 2 absolutely terrifying ones. Up in the sky are 2 panels, each connected to a cipher. If I were to miss and hit the cipher, all the bombs explode and it's all the way back to Fat Man. So I took my damn time with these 2. The rest of the bombs weren't too tough, although I did explode a seagull. That was kind of fucked up.
Oh, I just killed a bird. That doesn't count as a kill, does it?
All in all, this section only took about 14 minutes. My 4th save would be at the start of the Vamp fight, which meant I would have to beat the Harrier, then sneak past a bunch of guards while on my way to the second shell, grab the Nikita to then blow up the power box releasing the president, all while avoiding the dumb bitch. After that's done, I would then need to swim underwater while managing my oxygen and avoiding all the mines, finally arriving at Vamp. All things considered, this should be easy enough.
Alright, took a big piss. Oh, let's get this done. Harry boss fight, here we go. My hands are still kind of wet. Fuck. From the water, from washing my hands. No, I didn't piss on my hands.
My first big obstacle was the Harrier.
What? I was fucking blowing!
Like with Fat Man, there weren't really any strats I could use against the Harrier.
So that was a fucking lie.
Really, the only notable one was using this pillar as cover.
Fuck! I had to take cover!
My first attempt went over pretty well. I managed to get him down to about half health, but my undoing ended up being that carpet bomb move.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Because on extreme, they drop almost instantaneously.
I'm totally below it. I'm totally below it. Fuck you.
There's this one other move that's kind of a bitch to avoid as well. Solidus will hover in front of the bridge and shoot out a barrage of rockets. Unfortunately, hiding behind the pillar wouldn't save me this time. What I had to do instead is take cover against this rail, pull out my SOCOM, then fire it out of cover. Doing this gives Raiden invincibility frames, and after about 5 or 6 shots, Solidus will stop. And on my 4th attempt, I finally managed to beat the Harrier.
Oh my god!
The next thing I had to do was carefully make my way over to Shell 2. There are 2 ways to get there after beating the Harrier, the slow way and the fast way.
You thinking what I'm thinking, partner? Aim for the bushes.
So you what? Oh my fucking god.
Then I fought the Harrier like way too many times. You know when you're doing something really hard in a game, but instead of getting better, you just continue to get worse?
Oh.
Yeah, well that's what happened to me.
I was born in the darkness.
But trust me, you guys don't want to see all that, so let's pretend I didn't fumble and instead gaslight each other into thinking I went the slow way, which is what I did. Right? Thankfully, getting to Shell 2 isn't particularly tough. Neither was getting the Nikita, since there aren't any enemies in this area till you come back here with Emma. But the President got it first try. Look at that.
Okay. Ooh, that was scary.
Now all I had to do was swim the vamp, and so long as I was careful of any mines and made sure not to drown, I was gold. Just like the brown gold that was coming out of my arsehole.
Why do I have to take a monster shit right now?
After taking a short 30-minute break, it was a big one, alright, cut me some slack. It was time for Vamp.
What? Fuck off, man.
Potentially the toughest boss of Big Boss, if there wasn't a really easy way to cheat, which there is. So, how does one go about cheating? Well, sit down, squirt, cause I'm about to tell you. Upon starting the fight, shoot Vamp in the head with the M9. He'll dive into the water, where you will then want to mash circle at this edge until you fall off. What you'll want to do is wait for Vamp to jump out of the water, where he'll then very slowly walk over to you. As he crouches down to do this melee attack, climb up, because this will give you invincibility frames. You'll then want to position yourself behind him and try to hit Vamp with the double punch. Don't kick him, because then he'll reset, and you'll need to hang up the ledge again, do that whole shebang.
Damn it, I didn't mean to fucking do that.
And that's all there really is to the fight. All you really need to look out for is his knife, and as long as you avoid that, you should be good.
Alright, that was pretty clean. That was pretty clean.
Of course, next up was Emma, and though Emma sucks, I didn't mind it this time. Swimming through the underwater maze was practically muscle memory at this point. There weren't any enemies I had to look out for a while. It was just chill. I should mention that every time I had to replay this part, I always grabbed the body armor for obvious reasons. Once I was back on the main floor of Shell 2 with Emma, there were a few exact routes I had to take in order to avoid the guards, but these weren't hard at all.
Oh! Yes!
The main thing that spooked me was the Twilight sniping section. It's not super difficult, but it is really long and I'd rather not do it again. So while I had initially planned to save once I got the arsenal gear, I ended up making my 5th save here after Emma was spotted and she almost died.
Yeah.
I did manage to get through this section on my 2nd attempt though.
Oh, I got him.
After that, nothing much happened until I got to arsenal gear.
Oh, let me get my sunglasses?
And made my 6th save. From here on out, I knew it was not going to be easy. All the stuff that gave me trouble before couldn't even compare to these last hours. So I took another break, and after an hour or so, I came back refreshed, but incredibly nervous. I was almost done. All I had left was Arsenal Gear, the Metal Gear Ray fight, and the Solidus fight. My 7th save would be at the start of the Metal Gear Ray fight, which meant I would have to sneak by all the Tengu in Arsenal's Jejunum, wait for Snake to give me back all my stuff in Arsenal's colon, then fight through a whole bunch of Tengu with Snake. Overall, probably the easiest part of this whole run.
Ah!
Sneaking past the Tengu wasn't really that hard. There's a very specific path I had to take which had pretty tight timing, but once I managed to get it all down consistently, it was super easy. Once I made it to the colon, I had to just wait and skip a bunch of codec calls. Then after Snake gave me my stuff, I had to just wait some more for like a minute. It's really annoying, especially when you have to play through this part like 15 times.
Is there no way to like skip this?
During the first Tengu fight, I attempted another speedrunning trick. Very similar to the boba skip in the first game, I would once again clip through another door. But first, I actually had to get to the door, which was honestly harder than the skip itself.
Snake, you fucking moron.
Of course, I couldn't kill anyone, so I had to just run to the other side of the room throwing stun grenades the whole way. Actually trying to throw a stun grenade is a lot harder in execution because every time Raiden gets shot, which is a lot, he drops it. And he can only hold a maximum of 6 grenades, but after a million attempts and a lot of tears, I managed to get to the door with enough stun grenades. To do the skip, I had to lean up against the door in the middle, go into first person, then throw out a punch-punch-kick-kick combo. As Raiden spins around during the kick, I had to exit first person and move the left stick up so that I trigger the door, skipping the rest of the Tengu fight.
I got it! I got it!
For the elevator portion of the Tengu fight, I mostly just ran around with my sword up deflecting any shots coming my way while Snake cleaned house. I would still try and take out the occasional guy here and there, but Snake usually killed him before I could even get to him. And when the game does that fake game over screen, it actually tells you if you're still eligible for the big boss rank. Down to the left, there's a bunch of seemingly random words. These actually track your stats, like saves, shots fired, alerts, deaths, kills, and damage amount. And checking the numbers, by my calculations, I was still good. Thankfully, I managed to get past the elevator on my first attempt, which meant I was up to the Metal Gear Ray fight. Shit. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived. I've teased this fight this entire video, and now it's time to finally talk about it. Where do I even begin? Reason number 1 as to why this fight sucks ass is that you die in one hit to every move except the one. Reason number 2, you have to fight 20 rays on extreme, which is not only hard to kill that many rays without getting hit, but it also takes about 4 to 5 business days to kill that many. Which leads me into reason number 3. This fight takes about 15 minutes to complete, so you can probably imagine how getting a pretty good run under your belt and then dying right at the end would be absolutely debilitating. And I'll get to how long this took me eventually, alright? Don't worry, I'll get there. Reason number 4. Every time I die, it takes me about 30 seconds to get back into the game, just to die again in about 5 seconds. Reason number 5. Just takes your soul and crushes it.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck! Oh! Oh! Oh my god, that move is bullshit, man.
Nothing about this fight is easy, and it takes so much out of you. It's just this perpetual cycle of torment. You'll have a fantastic run going, you've killed 16 out of 20 rays, and then you'll make one minor slip up before you realize your mistake, you're dead, and it's back to the start. 15 minutes wasted. There are tactics that can be employed to make this fight palatable, I guess, is one way of putting it. When beginning the fight, the rays have a specific attack pattern that they do every single time. We can exploit this pattern to kill one of the rays and heavily damage the other two. Immediately upon starting the fight, do 2 flips toward the middle ray and equip the stinger. Shoot the middle ray in its right leg, which is my right, then shoot it in the mouth. Then aim at the right ray and shoot it in the left leg, then its mouth. Then swing over to the left ray and shoot it in its right leg, then of course the mouth. Now repeat this one more time, so first the middle ray again, then the right ray, then swing back to the left ray, then back to the middle ray. Now for the 3rd time, shoot the middle ray in the leg, then mouth again, unequip the stinger, run forward and flip because that middle ray is going to jump onto the stage and you don't want to get crushed by that. After you flip, do another flip so that you put a little distance between you and the middle ray, and shoot it in the head, and since it'll have so little health, it'll die and you don't need to worry about opening its mouth. Alright, now there are only 19 left. For the rest of the fight, my main strategies consisted of focusing on the main Ray on the stage while also trying to stun the Rays outside by shooting them in the leg. So basically, I would shoot the main Ray in the leg and mouth, then while it recovers, I would shoot one of the other Rays outside, so that way they will be less likely to get off their rocket barrage. I also have to keep my distance from the main Ray because if you're too close, it will use its laser, which is an insta-kill. Although, I couldn't stray too far, otherwise the main Ray would fire out these lock-on rockets from its knees, which are super hard to dodge. There's a certain sweet spot I tried to keep myself in where the Ray would only use this minigun move. This is the greatest thing ever. It's telegraphed a month in advance, it's consistent, it's slow, and it's easy to dodge. And even if I got hit, it wouldn't immediately kill me. So the fight mainly boils down to taking out that first Ray and damaging the others, then when a Ray jumps on stage, focusing it while staying in that sweet spot, but also making sure to stun the other Rays when I got the chance. Despite all these things I told you, all these little tricky tricks, this took a while.
Oh my fucking god, man. Holy shit, no way Kojima played this. That fat fuck.
But not as long as I thought it would. If I'm being honest, I thought I was going to be stuck here for a few days. But it only took an hour and 50 minutes. I checked the metadata. It was a very exhausting 2 hours, but I got there in the end. Sort of. Because while I may have beaten the Metal Gear Ray fight and had a real cringe reaction, you're not seeing any of that.
Oh my god, I got it!
I could very easily end up back at square one again. Remember that choking minigame from earlier? Told you to write it down, and you didn't? You can die here, quite easily. And if I were to die here, I would have to do the entire Ray fight again. There is supposedly a trick here. It sounds like an old internet urban legend, but some people swear by it, so I don't know. Apparently, while Solidus strangles Raiden, if you look at Snake, your oxygen doesn't drain as fast. Now, I don't know if this is true or not because it still drains super fast, but I didn't care, alright? I was gonna take any help I could get.
No! Holy fuck! Holy shit! Holy shit!
While I was overjoyed, I had barely managed to survive with a bee's dick of health. That joy would soon turn to misery. I didn't realize that this tiny crumb of health is what I had to work with for the entire Solidus fight. After skipping a bunch of cutscenes and a long-ass codec call, I made my 8th and final save at the Solidus fight. I had heard, by all accounts, that this was pretty easy. This took longer than the Ray fight. By this point, I was incredibly exhausted. I had been playing for about 7 hours with a couple breaks here and there. The final thing between me and this game's platinum was Solidus, and from everything I'd heard, this fight was pretty easy. Well, I don't know what kind of crack these people are smoking, but gimme. Every time Solidus got a hit on me, I was dead, no matter what.
am I blind or something? Why do I just stand there with my fucking dick in my hand?
Some of you may be thinking, why not do the health regen thing? You know, when you crouch? Great question. I forgot I could do that. There were a few strategies I attempted to varying degrees of success.
Fucking holy shit! He's dead!
The first strat I tried involved me attacking Solidus in a very specific pattern, which would keep him in this perpetual loop. This was okay, but it wasn't the easiest thing to execute, and it could be pretty inconsistent at times.
Just the way Kojima intended.
It was also really easy to mess up, and since I could die in a single move, well, I figured I needed to try something else. So I walked to my local library and perused their old VHS collection, where I found a tape labeled MGS2 Solidus Boss Fight Cheese. And holy cannoli, this tape was a gift from heaven. From this video, I learned that you could pretty easily and consistently do damage to Solidus by hanging off the ledge and then climbing back up and hitting him in the head. Now, while this was really good, it didn't really work once Solidus entered his second phase.
You fucking prick.
Once again, I was completely stuck and I was sinking fast. Until finally, I remembered I could actually regen some of my health. So, yeah, we got there eventually. So now, armed with the knowledge that I could have made this fight way easier, way earlier, I used the same strategy up until the second phase. Then once that was completed, I pretty much just fought him normally. Apparently if you look at Solidus in first person, when he does this like zip zap move, he'll zip straight towards Raiden, and if you block that initial hit, you can get a couple of good whacks in, a couple of good wallops. It's not super consistent, so I didn't do it all the time, but I figured, you know, I should mention that because I still do it occasionally, yeah. Despite all this, I still died quite a few times. In fact, one time, I was like 2 hits away.
I'm on fucking fire! No! Oh!
But at 11:02 p.m, after about 10 hours of playing this game, 2.5 hours spent on this fight alone, I finally beat Solidus.
Yes! Oh! 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 Holy fuck, I did it! It's been like 3 hours! Oh my god! Oh my god! No, it's been more like 2 hours, but fucking... Oh my god! 2 hours, 8 saves. Alert mode 3 times, 0 persons killed, 0 rations used, 0 continues. Come on. Yes! Yes! Big boss! Oh! 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 Extremely solid, the platinum. Holy fuck. This is like 40 hours. It's taking me to do this. Fucking hell, this is the hardest game I've ever platinumed. I'm on the floor right now.
So there you have it, the Metal Gear Solid 2 Platinum Trophy. Easily the hardest game I've ever platinumed. But hopefully Snake Eater will be much better. I'm very excited to platinum that. And I'll also do Delta when that comes out in August, assuming it doesn't get like delayed or whatever. It'll probably be like a year after the game comes out when I finally make a video on it, but like I plan on doing it at least, alright? I plan on doing it. But I won't be doing Snake Eater next, or not immediately next. Next video will be Green Hell.
Is that a shadow or is that a... Oh! Oh! That's not a shadow! That's not a shadow!
But yeah, anyway, that's about everything. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Otherwise, you just wasted an hour of your life that you'll never get back. That's on you. Alright, see ya.